So it's been about a week since I have put out a video for you guys, and if you watched my one last week, hopefully you can tell with this video, I'm feeling, hopefully sounding a lot better. Not 100%, but definitely better than where we were a week ago. I did a video for you guys. I tried to muscle through it, and it was awful. I was super sick. I got even sicker, and I could not do anything. And so I come back after a week of not doing videos, of trying to rest and get better. And there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on right now. There's a lot, I think, rant-wise and design-wise that we're going to be talking about, hopefully this week. So let's talk for a minute about Battle for Azeroth. I like Battle for Azeroth. I like World of Warcraft, right? Like, hello, you do a YouTube channel about it. You got to like the game, right? That would be silly to not like the game, but put out video, whatever. But I like Battle for Azeroth. I think that there are a lot of systems that have been moved over from specifically Legion, but I think the questing and the raid content that kind of started, maybe not the speed at which raid content came out, but the production value in Warlords of Draenor, and then obviously some of the systems for Legion were brought over into Battle for Azeroth. Things like the questing and the leveling content, like I said, the raid content, Mythic Plus, all good stuff. However, I think that the community, and in my head, it's a large part of the community. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a small part. And you guys tell me if I'm crazy, if I'm being an idiot. But I think it's a large part of the community. Feel that there is a huge set of problems with World of Warcraft right now. So, I'm going to detail kind of very briefly some of the issues, but I'm going to admit there's been other content creators that have talked about it in great detail. Preach has done a video. Taliesin and Evitel have done a video. I think Bellular's done a couple of videos. There are people out there that have definitely touched more in depth on the issues that we are looking at today. However, I kind of want to set that as a baseline because I'm going to bitch about something very pedantic and very specific. So if we look at some of the issues, I think one of the core issues within Battle for Azeroth is this system of Azerite armor. The idea that you can take away legendaries, you can take away this artifact weapon that was so deep in at least initially customization, but of course after a little bit of time you just filled out all your traits. But fantasy wise and customability, customization, that's the word we were looking for. And you can take the artifact weapon away and legendaries and tier set bonuses away, and you are going to replace it with a system where if you grind enough artifact power, when I cast a spell, sometimes it does a lightning effect. Cool. It gives me a little bit of extra mana when I heal. Cool. The system is truthfully very underwhelming. And it's super underwhelming for those that played in Legion, where legendaries were huge, class changing, that the weapons were huge and class changing, and the fantasy aspect of them was huge. And the tier set bonuses were very fun to play with. And now we have a system that's very underwhelming. It's heavily passive, and it defeats a design goal that Blizzard has mentioned multiple times. This idea that Blizzard does not want you to have to worry of all the checklist things you have to do when you finish a raid or when you get an item, that they want you to immediately equip it, right? That they said, we don't want to worry about you having to reforge it. We don't have to want you to worry about, your hit rating and this and that. That we just want you to throw the item on and you can use it. Well, with this Azerite system where you cannot unlock all of your traits, and you may have an item that is, a huge disparity between your current item and that item that you just got as far as item level, 20, 30, 40 item level upgrade from Old Deer, you can't use any of the traits on it. So is it an upgrade? Is it really? Is it better to have the lower item level piece with all your traits or 2 or 3 traits unlocked? Or is it better to have that higher statted piece but zero traits? And that's a frustration for a lot of people. The second big issue, and I think Blizzard has taken, they spoke about, and this is really where we're coming at with this. They spoke in an AMA. Ian Hazakostas and Josh Allen and some of the other guys kind of covered this, but they've been very bad about the communication with the player base. There has simply been a lack of communication. And it makes you, the customer, it makes me feel, as someone that puts in a lot of time in this game, that they don't care. That my opinions, that my concerns aren't valid because I'm not hearing any feedback. And I saw a post on Reddit, in the WoW subreddit, where someone said, look, our philosophy at my company is this. If a bug is thrown out there, if someone mentions a concern or an issue, I don't care if it takes us weeks to fix it, but we throw out the status updates. You submit a bug report, or you submit, an issue, and we say, hey, we recognize it. Hey, we see it. Hey, we're going to implement this hotfix. Hey, we weren't able to implement this hotfix. Hey, we've implemented it, but it didn't have the change that we wanted, so we're going to adjust it. All we're asking for is to know what the hell is going on. And it's very frustrating when things are being changed, things are being updated, things are being adjusted, and we're not finding out. We're eventually going to find out, right? People are going to figure it out. People are going to talk. It's going to be posted on Reddit or MMO Champion or, some of the Discord servers. People are going to learn about it. And it's very frustrating when it's not coming directly from the Blizzard development team. And then I think the last one is that features have been poorly implemented, right? Island expeditions were touted as this really cool feature where you have this like super advanced AI that you have, this island, this unique island. Every island is going to be different, and you'll be able to explore and see things that you've never seen before. And every time you get there, it'll be different. Bullshit. I don't know what island expeditions they were doing, but every single one that I have done on my characters has been, let's kill a whole bunch of crocodiles. Okay, the Alliance are over here. Let's kill them. Let's go kill rares, and let's get the hell out of here. Every single one of them is go, 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 rush, rush, rush. And that's an issue. That's a feature that we didn't get what we were told we were getting. Things like war fronts, this implementing them as we're about to start this mythic race, right? The highest end of the high raiders are starting to raid and attempt to get world first, and you just drop on half of the factions the ability to get free gear. And it's again poor communication, poor implementation, just not good. But like I said, I just want to skim over these. I want to set a foundation. There have been people that have covered this far better than me. However, there is a problem that I have. There is a concept, whether they are being super vocal about it, or maybe I'm reading into it, or maybe it truly is there. But this concept or this idea that you, as the player, simply need to wait. That all of the issues that you have, the Azeroth system, the island expeditions, the war fronts, you just need to simply wait. Because we're going to fix these issues in 8.1 or 8.2 or 8.3. And this is bullshit to me. It's not cool. It's not fair. For a lot of reasons. This is a monthly subscription-based game, right? I pay $15 a month to play this game. So if you're telling me that I need to wait 3 months before you fix a core system, why am I playing? Why not go play the hundreds and hundreds, literal hundreds of games on my Steam library or my Xbox or my PlayStation or anything else? Why not go play those games? Why not? Why not go out with friends? Why not go do literally anything that doesn't involve a game where I'm being told, we'll fix it in a month or 3, maybe, possibly. And the reason why I say this is because really two main points that really, for me, and it's me personally, maybe some of you guys are kind of aligned with my way of thinking. Some of you guys feel free to say, hey, you're being an idiot. You're saying the sky's falling, and it's really not. Just chill out. Two big issues that I saw in the Reddit AMA. The first, when asked about Azeroth traits, when Ian Hazakostas was answering the question of, hey, we told you guys from the get-go these traits were boring. They were, the majority of them are very passive. Not a lot of gameplay synergy, not a lot of spell synergy between things. And spell synergy, for those of you that are wondering, are things like, because I'm playing one, the idea that if you throw a flame shock on your target, that your lava burst will always crit when it hits it. If it's not on there, it possibly could crit, but it's not guaranteed. However, if it's on there, every single time it's going to crit. That good spell synergy where you really want to make sure that you're in a good flow. It means a lot to a player to get into that flow, and it's a fun experience. It's fun to experience this and really feel like you know what you're doing, that you're in a groove, that you're hitting the buttons at the right time, that you know what you're doing. And when asked about these Azeroth traits, the response that we were given is that the current traits are a foundation, and they will be adding more exciting traits and more active traits in the future. Now, the problem for this is that the beta for Battle for Azeroth went on for several months. That in that time, multiple content creators that very clearly are, if not in contact, watched, checked out, kind of somewhere on the radar for Blizzard, have said very, heavily multiple times, super passive, super boring, could be way better, just not what we want. And it was implemented this way. So it's not like this was some type of, it wasn't a surprise. It wasn't something that Blizzard didn't know was going to happen, but it shipped this way. And we're being told, hey, we're going to add them in the future. Well, when's the future? Again, when's the future? Is it next week? Is it this week during the reset? Is it in 8.1? Is it the next rate tier? When is it going to be? It's underwhelming and it's boring. These are not a substitute for tier sets. These are not a substitute for those artifact weapons that were amazing. These are not a replacement for legendaries at all. And the second gripe that I want to make here is specifically for shamans. I randomly picked, at least for right now, and I very possibly, depending on what is going on, and depending on what my guild really needs, I may change it, but at least for right now, I'm playing an elemental shaman. Again, the flow I don't really think is there. I think it's missing a lot of the flow, but I decided to play a shaman. And there, again, was a lot of feedback in the beta about the speed of elemental, about the randomness of enhancement, about the just underwhelming healing potential for resto. And there were no changes made. And the only thing that was said was, hey, we know that elemental needs some work. We'll take a look at 8.1. Well, when is 8.1? Is it next week? Is it in a month from now? And I know I keep repeating myself, but think about it from my point of view. That my whole raid and my whole guild as the raid leader, the guild master, and in general, a dude that's been raiding for a long time, could possibly, very possibly, see me as a detriment to the guild. If we look at the data, it's not just me playing, poorly. While that might be the case, a lot of other shamans that are in, those top tier percentiles, are bottom third of the rung. And it's all the way, every single percentile that you look at, shamans perform poorly. They do. And it's very frustrating to be told, wait, that we'll get around to it in 8.1. When speaking on the Reddit AMA about resto shamans, that their healing potential, that their healing throughput, that just it was not what it needed to be. The response was directly this: we know restoration we knew restoration were coming up. That's weirdly written, at least in my opinion, but that's the way it's written. We knew restoration were coming up on the low end in the initial weeks of BFA, and applied some measured buffs to their AoE healing in particular. Because healing rain will fix everything. But we expected the value of their mastery to increase. And apparently I don't have the whole quote here. Here we go. We knew restoration were coming up on the low end of the initial weeks of battle for Azeroth, and applied some measured buffs to their AoE healing in particular, but we expected the value of their mastery to rise significantly once higher end rating and Mythic Plus become more of a competitive focus. We wanted to make sure not to overbuff them. So, again, it's this idea of, hey, take me into the raid, get me geared up for whatever the guild is doing, whatever the raid is doing, knowing that initially I'm going to be a really poor performer because my class is poorly tuned right now. That once I get enough mastery, I could possibly, compete with the other healers. Well, why would we do that when we can just bring another healer that isn't in this situation? And I think that is a huge issue. There's a comment made on one of I think it was Bellular's videos that I watched earlier today, that Blizzard focuses kind of on the forest, right? That they're not focusing on I think he said the 15-minute gameplay loop, going around killing things, collecting things, doing quests, doing role quests, etc. They're not focused on that. And my concern is they're not understanding or focused on the fact that a week is a big deal when you're talking about raiding. Sitting at my desk in my house, 6 hours a week with, my 20-some guild members, it's embarrassing when no matter how hard I try, no matter what I do, I'm still underperforming because of my class. And to say, just wait one more week, don't worry, guys, we'll be buffed. It's frustrating. At the very least, it's frustrating. Now, I do want to take a step back. I get it. I understand because I've been on that end. I get it. That software development, game design is not quick. No matter how much you and I, the players, would like it to be, it would be ignorant to think that Blizzard is simply going to fix all of these issues in a week. It would be ignorant for me to say that I expect Blizzard to come out tomorrow during this live stream and fix all of the shaman issues. It's stupid to say that because it's not going to happen. It would be very naive for me to think that. I don't want them to rush things. They very clearly rushed a thing in Battle for Azeroth, and we and they are paying the price right now for it. So I don't want them to rush it. And yes, again, I'm sure that we're going to hear something during the live stream event today. This video is going up on Tuesday. The live stream is on Tuesday. But the idea of waiting for the next large patch, 8.1, for the idea of waiting another week or 3 while my guildmates are in jest making fun of me, or truly being very frustrated alongside me at the lack of buffs, the fact that they can look at my parses and go, he's doing everything right. He's not fucking up mechanics. He's casting the spells that he's supposed to cast, but he's just not going to be able to keep up. It's frustrating. And it's a feeling that I definitely and my guild members hopefully feel right now. And I wish that Blizzard would understand that. So hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from. I'd like your opinions on it. Am I being an idiot? Is the sky falling? Is it not falling? Let me know in the comment section down below. And until next time, guys, I'll see you.